Okay, I have a grinding job to do. I had this variable speed grinder head set up for my little Atlas lathe. That worked out good. Just connected it to a tool post that I had, an extra one, and it worked out. It was perfectly centered. It was great, sturdy enough. But now I have to adapt this to my new OTMT machine. So I'll probably have to make another mount and figure this out, but that's what this video will be for, so I'll bring you along for the ride and see how I figure it out. Okay, this is the factory vise tool post holder slash all around, cross slide, everything for this OTMT combination lathe. See, this is just the basic vise and the tool. This is a quick change tool holder, but the factory tool holder is a the stock four tool holder mounted on top of this spacer block. This is a factory spacer block. I just had to add a 1/4 inch spacer to bring this quick change tool post to the correct tool height. Someday I want to go with the next size up. Then I won't need the spacer block. I'll bolt right to this factory block. And then that's a AXA tool post. If I wanted to go all the way to like a CXA, I can get rid of this tool post, the spacer block and everything, but that would be way too big for this machine in my opinion. So I'm going between an AXA that bolt right to the tool post spacer perfectly from the factory here. That's a factory spacer. Or I'll go with a BXA, and I'd still may have to make a little spacer, but a smaller one. So I'm tossing. If a good deal comes along, I'll go just with the good deal, because no matter what, there has to be a spacer there basically. So it's just, if it's one solid spacer, which I'd like, and this, other than that, I don't care about the size. But that's another video for another day. But I'm trying to get this motor mount. So let me see. I was hoping that I'd bolt right on top of this vise in this T-slot. That'd be perfect. But let's see what height we're dealing with here. I'm trying to do this so I can film it with the camera. That'd be easy work on the other side here. So I definitely see on top of that spacer block. I mean, yeah, if it's perfectly level, it's too high. Now, if it goes on the upside down, see, I have to figure this out. So, I wish that would have been perfect here if I just bolt right to that, but that'd be too high without putting it at an angle. I could definitely do that, but so, that ain't gonna be a quick. Let me take the tool post off and we'll go from there. Okay, here's basically the factory vise setup. I was hoping I could just mount that directly to the spacer block, but still a good 1/4 inch. So my next decision is definitely that can come off. And do I just make a spacer block from there? Any which way, it doesn't matter one way or the other, it has to be mounted. But I'm just trying to make something where it's a quick change, something you can just throw on there and use without changing too many things around, keeping too many setups. So let me get back, see what other mounts I have, what other blocks I have. See if there's anything I can make with stuff I have in stock. This is what this is all about, just stuff I have laying around. Okay, I found a piece of metal. It's a bracket for something that I think some sort of lift kit I did in the past, something that extra brackets for different options. But nice piece of metal, about the size I need, so we'll give the portable bandsaw table its first use. It works pretty good. It's going to be rounded off at the end and made prettier, but that's basically the size I need. Let me bring it back over to the machine. Okay, I think I came up with an idea. This piece of aluminum is the factory mount that came with this motor, and it's basically a split mount. So of course, put it down flat, too high. But what I did notice is if the motor is flat on the factory spacing block, it is the perfect height. So at first, I was thinking about drilling 2 holes through the slot. You know, I only have to have these 2 bolts tightened to squeeze it. These 2 are just mounting, so I could have drilled 2 holes through there and mounted it, you know, bolts into the block. But I didn't want to drill. There's not that much meat there. So I was trying to figure out how to mount it and came up with the idea of just mounting off the mounting bolt holes to the block. So we have to machine this piece a little bit more. But basically my idea is I'm going to open up this slot to fit the 2 bolts in there and, you know, make this a little prettier. Either just probably, I haven't decided yet to use 1 hole here, you know, 2 holes in this slot, or do another separate hole, probably a separate hole. And this is at an angle, so it depends which way you put it, how it'll look. I think I'm going to do the holes level with the surface. So I use this. Yeah, I might have to look into this. This might not be the best. Yeah, if I just trim this down, it might look okay. But something like that. That's how I'm going to mount it. Then all I have to worry about is just drilling and tapping a couple holes in the block. Then I could probably use those holes to mount different things in the future. So I think that'll come in handy. So that's my idea. Let me see. Let me make up my plan as I go. Okay, toss that first piece, didn't like it. Cut out another piece, and I'm going to basically drill and tap 2 holes to these 2 bolts right at the end there. And then just drill and tap 2 bolts in there, and boom, we got a bracket. Fits good. I'll be happy with that. So let me mark this out and we'll do some drilling and tapping. Okay, I'm going to transfer punches. This is the mount. So it's going to be basically I've advised into a nice aluminum square that's thick enough to give me an edge, and this piece is just to space out the back here. So, and then I have a set of transfer punches and pick the correct size, hold it in place. And kaboom! Got 2 marks exactly where just drill those and tap them. Let me look up the tap size and drill size I need. Figured I would place this up. This little parallel underneath there. Gonna be drilling the 2 holes on the outside here. I could use the old Leland-Guilford drill press. Don't get this in enough videos. See there? And basically what's cool about this drill press is you can adjust the height, bring it down to your work so you're not, too much farther throw, more control. And this is a drill press that runs off. It does run another drill press, but this belt goes back and runs on a clutch back there. You engage the clutch, turns on the drill head. Get you in here. Sorry, there's no other better place to mount my camera without moving a bunch of stuff, and just to film drilling 2 holes. You want to take the time. Two holes drilled, and they're going to be for 6mm bolt. Let me grab the tap, and we'll tap these. Alrighty, got my vise mounted in a vise. We're just going to hand tap these 6x1 metric threads. It would just take too much time to mount in the machine. I'm just gonna nut and bolt these at first, but I figured might as well do it right. Go, hopefully. Actually, the taps I've been trying out lately, I got sets. Let me zoom out the camera here. These seem to be made by one company and everybody sells them underneath their brand, but if you look at the inside of the case on all of them, they're all the same. These are from AccuSize. And I got another set, the American set. It's exact same printing, same sticker, of course, in American. But they're all made by the same company. And so far they've been pretty good. The drills are very good. The taps seem pretty good. So I've been happy with the set so far. Been trying them out. I got them on a pretty good deal. Okay. I bolted the mount onto the bracket. Did a pretty good job transferring the holes because they fit perfectly. So that's my general idea here. Figured there's a slight ridge on the other side, so use that for support too, and then it rests around the mount also, so it's pretty much supported all the way around. I'll drill 2 holes in the bracket, drill and tap 2 holes in the block, and this thing will be pretty steady. Looks like it. I'll bring you back. Yeah, right after I explained that last part, I knew I was talking on my ass, basically. Once you put the motor in the bracket, of course, it's going to sit up higher, so it's not going to be resting on the bottom. I knew that wasn't correct when I was putting it up there. At first, what I was concerned about was the step. I'm like, well, does it rest on that step or this step? I'm like, no, it doesn't rest on anything. It rests on the motor, the motor itself. Have a little piece of rubber. I'm going to use to insulate the motor, vibration, just like that. It's just a very thin piece of rubber. I'm going to cut a slice there. So now what I'm going to do is, on the back side I'll mark where the block is. And I'll drill 2 holes, transfer them to the block, and drill and tap the block. That's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so I basically want to scribe where the block is on the back side. So I'm just using a little angle pick, holding everything flush and square. My hand. And just scratching the paint. Doing the edge here. See the scribe mark there, so that's my working area. I'll measure it, center 2 holes in there, drill them out.
Okay, now just drill the through holes for the mounting plate here.
Using a long, small drill bit for my center drill. I could easily take off the motor bracket and just use a regular center drill, but one less thing to take off. I center punch the hole. It is just a through hole. Going a 1/4x20 cap screw, so I'm just going to drill a 1/4 inch through hole. Okay, I got the motor bracket mounted to the mounting bracket clamped to my 2-post spacer block, the factory spacer block. I'm gonna center punch the transfer, punch the holes. They didn't have the block all the way slid forward. That should do it. And I have to give Harbor Freight credit for the smaller adjustable clamps, the all metal ones, not the plastic ones. Don't even buy the plastic ones, but these metal ones, especially the 6-inch sizes, like $3 when they have a sale of them. So you just buy, you know, half dozen, and they're great. They work for a lot of things. They hold good. The long ones do bend, but even the best brands bend a little bit. But for the small ones, it pays to have them hanging around. Now I got the transfer screws, punch marks in there. So I'll drill those for 1/4 cap screws, and bring you back for that. Okay, you got the spacer block set up in the vise, and this is a drill bit for 1/4, which is a number 7. My set screw must have come out. Yeah. Okay, that was fixed. The keyway just basically backed out on the main shaft, so came loose. So back in business. I assembled it, so it was my fault. Can't blame anybody but myself on that one. And my stop set on this. Nice easy cast iron drilling. There's a stop. There's 2 holes. I'll set it for tapping. Bring you back. Alright. Bring you back. There's 1/4 hand tapped cast iron holes. Wish everything was this easy in life. About 3/4 inch deep, so I drilled about an inch deep, so my tap had plenty of room to go down. Alright, clean this up. Clean up these holes, blow it up, and we'll go back to the lathe and mount it up. Okay, back to the machine. Got mounted here is the spacer block. What I had to put just a regular 3/8 bolt with a, I always say 14mm metric. 9/16 head. I tried to use 3/8 Allen head bolt, but it was too high, and I started grinding down the head, and it was just the Allen socket part of it wasn't deep enough. So I found a bolt for now. I'll get another Allen bolt, make it fit better, but that holds in for now. So I still have to put the bolts in to squeeze the bracket onto the motor, but it moves, but it holds it tight enough. So I got the lower bolts bolted to the drilled and tapped holes there, and using 1/4x20 screws here. So I have 2 different washers. For some reason I had oddballs up here. Next time in the cellar I'll get another black washer, so it just looks a little better, but I was going to walk downstairs just for a washer. And good news enough is these are 1/4 American Allen heads. Uses a metric 6mm by 1 and takes the same Allen wrench, so that worked out good. So 1 Allen wrench will cover all the tools I need here. So that bolts in tight, fits nice. See, and so I like that. I'm happy with that design, how it came out. That's quick and easy. 2 bolts, it comes off. I have to swap the center bolt on the spacer for the quick change. This is the one that usually goes through the quick change. So, but that came out pretty good. That'll be a nice solid mount. Let me, now I have to go downstairs. I have to get some nuts for these bolts, so I can tighten it down. I was going to put those at the bottom, and just be able to use those to mount it and everything, but I figured might as well use that. You might want to loosen this up, move the motor around, not disturb it. That was my thinking there. So I can't go far because the fan will hit, but there's a little room to move here, so if you got to do it that way, I'll put the bolts in facing this way, and I'm contemplating maybe even kind of sinking them in to make it neat, but that really doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't get in the way of anything, I don't think. But I might do that if I get bored. Okay, went downstairs, got a couple nuts for the top mount here. We'll be able to lock the motor in. Nice and tight, secure. Gotta cup all the washers. Grab a handful of them. So more I try to have low assortment down up here so I don't have to walk down there. So got stainless steel, regular zinc coated, and then the black oxide ones. So it depends what you're using it for, and I like them to match. And I'll change this one because it's a little smaller. Details. Stupid things like that get me. I don't know why. Doesn't make a difference. Not like I took really good care to get this thing perfect. But, you know, I had to put a little paint on the edges of the bracket I cut out. But, hey, now everything matches. So let me wire up the motor, and I'll bring you back for that. Okay, I'm back all wired up. Pretty simple, just a couple wires, but it's a variable speed control. The thing is pretty vibration free, pretty steady. Pretty happy with it. Hopefully that's the idea of it. Someday what I probably would do is make a bracket, something like that. I think that'd be a good place for it. Let's see, what's the easiest way to mount that? I have to make a little, like a C bracket, something like that. So let me get this set up, but everything is going to be, you know, mounted to the table. I don't know if I'll even mix. I was thinking about just making a mount for the back of this control unit to go on a T-nut just to hold it in place so it doesn't move around, but I don't even think I really need that. You know, not important. So that's the tool post grinder.